In the news tonight,
twakola ffenna emyaka ebiri nze nali sikolanga mu gavumenti okutuusa mu kiseera ekyo.
hundreds gather in Rubaga to pray for the soul of former presidential candidate Pokawanga Semogerere.
Uganda is an investment destination. Everybody can now invest in this country.
Thousands turn up for MTN Marathon after 2-year hiatus. Ugandans urged to support healthcare for babies.
If you feel like you want to occupy a bigger space, you go and find that space elsewhere.
Also tonight, outgoing leaders of Kampala market speak out on presidential directive. And in sports, the World Cup kicks off in an Asian-South American clash. At exactly 9 p.m., PM Edition comes to you live with the major stories that made news from Uganda, Africa, and the world at large. I am Kalachi Brian. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, has today urged citizens to work together with government to boost healthcare for children, especially the infants. Nabanja made these remarks at the annual MTN Marathon held today, where she was the chief runner. Take a look.
Thousands of people, including the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, took to the Kololo Independence Grounds to take part in this annual MTN Marathon, with this year's proceedings going towards upgrading maternal newborn services in 4 selected health facilities in several parts of Uganda. The marathon today took place after a 2-year absence because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and will see some health centers such as Kabong Health Center 3 in Karamoja region, Kachumbala Health Center 3 in Teso region, Kisenyi Health Center 3 and Kawala Health Center 3 in Kampala benefit from the run. In her speech today, Prime Minister Robin Nabanja urged Ugandans to work together with government in boosting health care.
So I want to thank MTN and all of you for coming and for thinking about our babies.
The Prime Minister, who was joined by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, expressed worry over the rise of premature births.
Last year, we got 1.5 babies, and of those, 5% they were born premature. And so all those babies require actually to be put in the incubators and taken care of so that they have a chance to live. So thank you so much. Your support will definitely change the landscape of how we take care of the babies.
Nabanja also vowed to fight land grabbing, which she says has been on the rise.
Yesterday I witnessed a scenario where a rich man in Namungona gave a poor woman 7 million as if he was borrowing her, lending her that money. So this woman thought she had borrowed the money. Kumbe the man wanted to steal her house and land. In Namungona, can you get a house of 7 million? So we are saying no, and we want to help this woman. So she's in prison right now. After here, I'm going to Lucia to see that we help that woman come out of prison.
This year's run brought together different high-profile people, including the KCC Executive Director, Dorothy Kisaka, sportsman Moses Golola, among other people included children and youth and the elderly.
Well, some interim managers of 16 markets owned by KCCA say they have already produced reports which they intend to submit to KCCA that was recently directed by the president to take over the markets. However, some of the outgoing managers spoke out on the move by the president.
Before KCCA takes over the 16 markets owned by KCCA in Kampala City, managers who have been in charge were directed to prepare handover reports. In the reports, they are supposed to give the status of the market regarding number of vendors, stalls, revenue projects, garbage disposal, among other issues. The minister in charge of Kampala Affairs, Mr. Kabanda, who communicated the directives early this week, said the plan will not be stopped by anyone.
Market leadership in all public markets in Kampala is disbanded and should, with immediate effect, hand over the operations of the markets to the Executive Director, KCCA.
However, the Secretary of Nakasero Market, Haruna Ntambazi, says they knew their leadership was temporary and are pleading with KCCA to respond the management of the markets and redevelop them.
The President was spot on. He saw it that we must coexist with the KCCA because the KCCA is going to handle administrative issues such as revenue, reallocation, garbage, health. There is these community issues like death. There is government programs like Myoga, parish models. These traders leaderships or committees are the ones to address those small community issues.
Ntambazi says the directive by the president that vendors should pay the utilities like water and power is problematic because the government has been footing the bill. Among the directives, the ordinary vendors should be given priority in the ownership of stalls. Ntambazi, who says he operated in Nakasero Market for over 40 years, says this is also a tricky directive because it's not practical to determine who is rich or poor.
I've been here for almost 40 years, but I've not graduated. I'm still a poor man. So I have to stay. There is no limit to graduate to get rich in years. But you must grow rich. You can grow rich anytime. I'm still poor, and we are here to stay. All of us are still poor. Maybe the president's intention was, if you feel like you want to occupy a bigger space, you go and find that space elsewhere, but not squeezing or taking away the interest of other vendors.
Kabanda says every lockup will be registered under one person even if it's shared by many people. But the traders say such a plan could cause problems.
Distribution of stores should be on a one person, one store principle. In some markets like Owino, where stores are shared, each person is registered on an individual owner, as an individual owner.
People who were allocated, the vendors who were allocated these stores and lockups, shops, registered these stores, lockups and stores in family names. Like one of mine, my great parent was allocated in 1962 by the mayor, the white mayor. Now I'm in. So if I'm found there, and it is allocated to me, the family members are going to presume that I've connived with the KCCA and I'm taking over the interest of the whole family. So it is going to create some bit of family conflicts. But I'm calling upon the government and KCCA because we have addressed it to handle it with care.
Kampala Central Mayor Salimu Hall says traders should remain calm.
So I think when KCCA takes charge in good faith, and if I can promise you, I'm the mayor of Kampala Central, if I see anyone not implementing the directive of the president as he wishes for the lower man down, we shall go head on.
Dorothy Chisaka, the KCCA Executive Director, says they will work with the existing market leadership for a while to implement the new plan.
Residents of Namlesa in Jinja have today taken the law in their hands, attacking and killing 4 youths accused of engaging in acts of theft. According to the residents, the suspects who were killed by the mob were allegedly breaking into people's homes to steal property in the area.
Some of the residents of Namlesa have for long made cries to authorities who they say have not assisted them in fighting against crime in the area. According to the residents, the suspects that were killed by the mob were moving on a motorcycle to carry out acts of theft. The residents first got a hold of 2 suspects who later took them to their place where they found 2 other people who they beat to death before touching their motorcycle. Upon arrival, police inspected the scene where they found various tools believed to have been used by the people to break into homes. Police also managed to rescue one of the people before the mob could gang up. The survivor has been identified as Karim Kasada. The Ginger Northern Division Commander, Charles Biamukama, spoke out on the incident.
Briefly about this incident, 4 people have been the public took it upon themselves, have been running in and out. So I think today, people managed to lynch them and kill them, but we are going to investigate. However, we condemn the act of public taking the law into their hands. Secondly, one person who survived will give us more information about their group. Basically, we request the public to keep calm and next time not to take law into their hands.
Police say that they will continue investigating the incident but have come out to condemn the acts of mob justice.
Well, the Evangelical Orthodox Church International Synod has elected Bishop Joshua Beckham of the United States as the new international patriarch following the stepping down of Patriarch Gerald Gilead, who stepped down due to old age. Members of the Orthodox Church in Uganda have welcomed the new appointment.
The announcement of the new patriarch of the Evangelical Orthodox Church was made this month in Indianapolis, United States of America, after the election of Bishop Joshua Beckham of USA, who will be taking over Patriarch Gerald Gilead, who also stepped down due to his age. Other people who were elected by the Holy Synod include Father Bruno Sechiriamumba Muhindo and Reverend Father Joseph Birungi Bizibu as Bishop for North Kivu, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Auxiliary Bishop of Kampala in Uganda, respectively. The International Holy Synod resolutions were announced by the presiding Bishop of Evangelical Orthodox Church in Uganda, Jacinto Chibuka, during the Transnight prayers held at Mamre Prayer International Center in Namugongo, Janda.
The International Synod of the Evangelical Orthodox Catholic Church in the world has elected Bishop Joshua Beckham of Indiana to succeed the International Patriarch Bishop Gerald Gilead as the Patriarch of the Evangelical Orthodox Church in the world. We have got Bishop in Congo as Bishop-elect to lead the Diocese of North Kivu, and that is Reverend Father Bruno Sechiriamumba Muhindo.
The announcement was celebrated by divine liturgy in show of great joy and jubilations. Bishop Jacinta Chibuka has also urged parents to take responsibility of their children in holiday to avoid getting Ebola or engage in the immoral acts.
Parents must be diligent and prudent, following all the SOPs to make sure the children reach home safe, but at the same time to keep them safe at home. Parents must be a little strict this time around, not to let them meander around. Otherwise, they may catch up the virus and bring it to the family, and the whole family may die. Ebola is fatal and very dangerous.
In 2019, the outgoing patriarch of the Evangelical Orthodox Church, Gerald Gilead, visited Uganda, where he was greeted by thousands of loyal believers. Sharon Twebaze, CTV, Pagan Edition.
Well, 17 minutes past 9 p.m. PM Edition takes a short break and returns with more news.
I'm Biarhanga Bobos, male player of the year, and Uganda Cranes midfielder and Vipers Sports Club. I started in the village where I come from. I come from Tsolo, I'm Mfumbira. I started from Tsolo Young Simba. I played for Young Simba and Halambe Soccer Academy.
He will go for a shot! Thunderbolt from the best player!
They see me on TV, they feel happy to play for the national team. Just out of football, I like chilling with my friends, even like watching basketball, because me, I love basketball, and I'm a fan of City Oilers in Uganda.
Nirvana packaged drinking water is a product of Crown Beverages Limited, makers of Pepsi products. That's life, that's Nirvana.
Hits it in the air, will that be set?
Recharge your day with Sting. Extreme energy, refreshing taste, available countrywide. Sting, life switched on, from the makers of Pepsi.
Sometimes in life, we spend all the time trying to live other people's life. And along the way, we lose who we are by copying what other people are doing in their relationship.
You see, from the last time I met your sister, I've not spent a day or a minute without thinking about her.
It's a good surprise on a Monday. This is nice.
So you and him are
We're just friends.
Wow.
Come on.
just friends.
You either tell me where you're from or you go back to where you've been.
Thinking it would work out for us, but yet to find out that's not who we are after experiencing a great disappointment.
She's in love with some other man, so classy, a gentleman, not bulldogs like you.
These are the mistakes girls do.
Now showing on CTV. Don't blink.
Thank you for joining us once again. I am Kalachi Brian. Well, as Uganda continues to mourn the death of seasoned politician Paul Kawanga Semogere, we take you back to his life journey and how it rose to prominence. Here are the details.
Paul Kawanga Semogere was born on the 11th February 1932 in Masaka district. However, his parents Joseph and Anne Maria Kapera had migrated from Sese Island, present-day Kalangala district. He went to Chisubi Primary School, St. Henry's College Chitovu for O-level, and then joined St. Mary's College Chisubi for his A-level education. He joined Makerere University, where he was awarded a diploma in education and later enrolled for a politics and government program at Allegheny College in Midville, Pennsylvania, USA. In 1979, he obtained a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Public Administration from Syracuse University in Syracuse, New York. In 1961 to 62, Semogere was elected as a member of the Ugandan Legislative Council and afterwards of the National Assembly of Uganda as the Member of Parliament for North Mengo constituency. In 1972, he replaced Benedicto Chiwanuka as the leader of the Democratic Party, having previously served as his parliamentary secretary. Following the 1971 coup, Semogere was in exile until 1979, when he returned as Minister of Labour. In 1980, Paul Semogere assumed leadership of the Democratic Party, and in 1984, he was re-elected as leader over the challenge of Okeny Atwoma. In response to Okeny Atwoma's unsuccessful challenge, Atwoma established the Nationalist Liberal Party alongside former Minister Anthony Ochaya, Cuthbert Joseph Abwangor, and Francis Bwenge. Semogere was a presidential candidate in the disputed 1980 general elections, which were won by Milton Obote's Uganda People's Congress. Semogere then became the leader of the parliamentary opposition from 1981 to 1985. He was appointed Minister of Internal Affairs during the presidency of Tito Okello in 1985 to 1986. After Yoweri Museveni became president in January 1986, following a Bush war, Semogere was consecutively Minister of Internal Affairs from 1986 to 1988, Foreign Affairs from 1988 to 1994, and Public Service from 1994 to 1995, and at the same time held the post of Deputy Prime Minister in Museveni's government from 1986. He resigned from his government posts in June 1995 because he was the presidential candidate for the mainstream opposition, but he lost the 1996 presidential elections to Museveni. Semogere had also been a delegate to the Organization for African Unity and was chairman of the OAU Council of Ministers from 1993 to 1994. After his retirement from politics, in November 2005, he was succeeded as party president by John Sebana Kizito, the mayor of Kampala at that time. In retirement, Semogere has been hosting various groups of politicians to consult him on various challenges facing Uganda on its path to genuine democracy. Semogere was married to Jamina Namatovu Semogere, a professor of economics at Makerere University, with whom they produced 5 children.
Or still about the deceased. Hundreds of people have today turned up at Ruaga Cathedral to pray for the soul of former presidential candidate Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere, who recently passed on. Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere will be laid to rest at his home village in Nkumba.
At exactly 2 p.m., the body of the late arrived at the cathedral, and immediately the prayer started under the Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, Paul Semogere. Father Achilles Mayanja, the parish priest of Rubaga, recognized the late as an exemplary Christian and down-to-earth person.
Singa abadde mulalo ba Father Boye bamusinya katendi n'abalala bonna bandibadde bawa obujulizi ku mugenzi ono agalamidde wano.
The late Dr. Semogere's family spoke of him as a committed servant of the people who wished everyone well before advocating for a federal system of government. Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, in her condolence speech, honored the late for his contribution to Uganda, hence according him an official burial.
Era njagala okutuusa okusaasira kwa gavumenti yaffe yonna eya NRM eri namwandu abaana abafamire olw'okufiibwako muzeeyi waffe Dr. Kawanga Semogere.
Opposition politicians hailed the late Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere as a pivotal national hero who should have been awarded and recognized as a hero for his services.
Semogere nasooka kumusinkana nga tuyingira mu Kampala mu lutalo zaali ndowooza 24 ogw'olubereberye 86 nga tulumba kibuga Kampala.
The late Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere had an eye for talent in leadership. For me, I didn't know I could be a leader, but he's the first person that actually identified that I can be a leader. I just participated in a debate, just like any other high school student who had joined the university. When there was a debate, I went up to speak, And later on, 2 weeks later, Joseph Luzige came to me and is like, Dr. Semogere wants to talk to you. So he had an eye for leadership, and he groomed us as young people. And we thank him for the many people that he has groomed, even in the NRM, like you had Dr. Honorable Kawanga JB, even our president.
Democratic Party President Norbert Mao, which is the party Dr. Semogere was a member of, was absent. However, the party Secretary General Dr. Gerard Siranda attended the mass, among other dignitaries. Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere will be finally laid to rest tomorrow at his ancestral home in Nkumba along Entebbe Road. Story by Sarah Nakandi for CTV PM Edition.
Continue to pray for his soul to rest in eternal peace. In our regional roundup, voters in Equatorial Guinea cast their ballots in national elections that the world is sure will end in victory for incumbent President Theodore Obiang Nguema Basong. And the Rwandan Defense Forces RDF shot dead a soldier of the Armed Forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo, FARDC, who strayed into Rwandan territory. The details. The president of Equatorial Guinea, Theodore Obiang Nguema Basong, arrived at a polling station in the capital Malabo today to cast his vote in the presidential and legislative elections. After 43 years in power, 8-year-old Obiang is virtually guaranteed re-election for a 6th term, the longest tenure of any living head of state today, except for monarchs. Equatorial Guinea is considered one of the most authoritarian and enclosed states in the world. Running against Obiang is Andres Esono Ondo from the nation's only tolerated opposition party. The Secretary General of the Convergency for Social Democracy, CPDS, is a candidate for the first time and the sole representative of the restricted opposition. Ondo has said he fears fraud during voting to elect the president, senators, and members of parliament. The government has leveled its own accusations against the politician, in 2019 accusing him of planning a coup in Equatorial Guinea with foreign funding. The third candidate, Bonaventura Mosui Asum of the Social Democratic Coalition Party, PCSD, a historic ally of Obiang's ruling party. The ex-minister is running for the 4th time but has never done well in previous elections. The opposition have called him a dummy candidate without a chance. The discovery of offshore oil turned Equatorial Guinea into Africa's 3rd richest country in terms of per capita income, but the wealth is very unequally distributed. 4/5 of the population of 1.4 million live below the poverty threshold, according to World Bank figures for 2006, the latest available. The country has a long-established reputation internationally for corruption, ranking 172 out of 180 nations on Transparency International's 2021 Corruption Perceptions Index. The Rwandan Defense Forces, RDF, say they eliminated a gun-toting soldier believed to be a member of the Armed Forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo, FARDC, who strayed into Rwandan territory. The RDF in a statement said the suspect was killed by returning fire after he shot at RDF soldiers on guard duties. While assuring the public that the situation at the border remained calm, the RDF said the Region Expanded Joint Verification Mechanism had been made aware. The Region Expanded Joint Verification Mechanism was launched in September 2012 in Goma, DRC, and comprises military experts from the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region member states. It monitors and carries out investigations on security incidents. Relations between Rwanda and DRC have been strained for the greater part of this year. While trading counter accusations of working with insurgents, there have been shelling incidents on the Rwandan side of the border. A fortnight ago, a DRC fighter jet landed on Rwandan soil, which Kigali said was an extreme provocation. On Friday, former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is also the Nairobi Process Peace Facilitator, spoke to Rwandan President Paul Kagame over the phone. According to Kenyatta's office, Kagame agreed to work with him in urging the M23 on the need for an immediate ceasefire as well as withdrawal from the occupied territories. In the international news wrap, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called out COP27 for failing to meet ambitions to cut carbon emissions, and blames have been traded between Russia and Ukraine over explosions at Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. Yes, ma'am. During the initial days of the COP27 summit, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres had asked world leaders what they had done for the world and the planet till now. Being unhappy with the developments in the last 2 weeks, the UN Secretary General made it clear on Sunday that COP27 did not meet the ambitions at all. Guterres said that the COP27 climate talks had fallen short in pushing for the urgent drastic carbon cutting needed to tackle global warming. He said, "Our planet is still in the emergency room. We need to drastically reduce emissions now, and this is an issue this COP did not address." Similar remarks were issued by Frans Timmermans, the EU's climate chief. Timmermans said that the COP27 failed to reach a consensus on keeping global warming to below 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, while adding that the bloc did not want to scupper a loss and damage fund for more ambition. Norway's climate minister, Espen Barth Eide, also criticized the gathering, saying the final declaration did not contain an explicit reference to phasing down fossil fuels or peaking emissions by 2025. Germany's foreign minister, Annalena Baerbock, appeared to be pinning the blame on an alliance of all rich countries and major emitters for the disappointing outcome. As per media reports, representatives from various nations also staged walkouts while expressing disappointment with how the process played out. Allegations were leveled and a series of documents were rushed through without having discussions. Powerful explosions took place at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Both Russia and Ukraine have traded blame, saying the other side shelled the plant. The Ukrainian nuclear power plant is currently... Russian news agency TASS said that 15 shells were fired at the plant's facilities, citing a Russian official. Meanwhile, Ukraine's nuclear power agency has accused Russia of shelling the nuclear power plant. The Zaporizhzhia plant, which Russia occupied shortly after its invasion of Ukraine, has since come under repeated shelling, with both Kyiv and Moscow accusing each other of attacks and risking a nuclear accident. The facility, the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, provided about a fifth of Ukraine's electricity before Russia's February 24th invasion and has been forced to operate on backup generators a number of times. Now don't blink as PM Edition returns after the break with sports action that you do not want to miss.
If I start talking about what football has done for me, of course I will not finish all of them, because football has really done a lot for me. Of course, playing for the national team makes me happy to represent my people, because whenever I'm here in the national team, back home there people are watching me, so they are proud of me. Like whenever I go back, they feel happy because their body is in the national team, and it's something which is it's not easy, because I think in West Nile, I don't know how many players are there, but I think right now they are there, but I don't know, but they are happy because I've been there with them. They know that I'm their own, and to be their own in the national team, of course, it makes them happy. And sometimes if I don't play football, I play volleyball. I love playing volleyball. In the morning, football, in the evening, volleyball.
Nirvana packaged drinking water is a product of Crown Beverages Limited, makers of Pepsi products. That's life. That's Nirvana.
Faisha Pictures International presents a new movie, Beneath Beauty. The killer is found dead and the victim on the run. Friday 25th November 2022 at Theatre La Bonita. Entrance will be 30k and VIP 50k. 6 p.m. Beneath Beauty will commence. Don't miss Aisha Chomohanji, Matovu Jr., DJ Nimrod, Allen Musumba, Edison Abitegeka, Dennis Duke, Namara Jole, Ziwa Jabal, Jackie Katutsime, Mushabe Daniel, the hottest Nigerian Kingsley Obi Biyekwe. Beneath Beauty is produced by Aisha Chomohanje, written and directed by Tumanyane Andro. For bookings, please visit Sungura House Bukoto, Theatre La Bonita, Total Buyugerere, Total Bunamwaya, or download the Cinema UG app on both Android and iOS. You can contact Faisha Pictures at 0741 846 446. Beneath Beauty, a new movie by Faisha Pictures International at Theatre La Bonita on Friday 25th November. See you there.
Hits it in the air. Will that be set?
Recharge your day with Sting. Extreme energy, refreshing taste, available countrywide. Sting, life switched on, from the makers of Pepsi.
It's 40 minutes past 9 p.m. Welcome back to PM Edition for your sports news. Well, the biggest sporting event in the world, the FIFA 2022 World Cup, has kicked off in Qatar. The first game today has been between hosts Qatar and Ecuador. It was, however, a disappointing start for the hosts, who lost to Ecuador, and here are the highlights.
Years in the making, only 7 days.